Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you the books that I plan to read for 2023. So this year is going to be quite different, I believe, for me than previous years. I've mentioned it in, I think, at least one or two previous videos that I just have this strong knowing or feeling that I may be taken in some completely different direction this year than what I can anticipate. And so keeping that in mind, I'm going to plan on reading a lot less books this year than in previous years. So I am very much the type of person who loves to read and learn and understand as many different perspectives as I can. So especially in witchcraft as well, being an eclectic witch, I really find it important to understand other styles of witchcraft, other perspectives, how they practice, how much information can I get out of books, because it really is, some of the information is very limited to what you can get in books because a lot of it's very personal and private for a lot of different paths. But so a lot of times I will read a lot of books, but a lot of it is just to really understand other practitioners and what their beliefs and thoughts are. And then I've always got a handful of books that are more specific to my practice. So this year, since I really feel that what I'm going to be working on is personal power, and that I could be taken in any unknown direction this year, I feel spiritually, it's like, get ready because you may not know what direction you're pulled in. So with that, I am only going to read or plan on reading 12 books. And of those 12 books, I am going to try and have some lighter reads in there, as well as some educational and more in-depth as well. So I'm going to try and have a really good balance. I only have 6 books here. There's another one that is coming out in January. I'll go over that as well, by an author that I've read before. So 7 books that I know of that I plan on reading and getting into, and that leaves, a handful, maybe 5 books or so that will come up throughout the year that I can, decide as the year goes on. I always like to leave some wiggle room because things never go the way you plan them to. It is always good, I feel, to have an idea, a plan, but don't be bound to that because things can change. You might grow or move in a different direction. So always leave some wiggle room. And if you've planned on reading certain books, don't be afraid to just not read those and to read something completely different as well. Okay, so with that said, my themes this year mostly being fire energy, earth energy, hearth, and with more of an emphasis on fire and personal power. So I feel like I've got this stronger urge for fire energy because I am a fire sign, and I think really what I'm going to be diving into is my own personal power and energy, and a little bit deeper discovery of that, I feel. So with that in mind, I am going to read Fire Magic. It's part of a 4-book series from Llewellyn. This one is by Josephine Winter. I have read the Air Magic book. I had planned on reading the whole series. I have it this last year and it just didn't happen. So so this year I'm going to go with Fire. The other book I read in the series was Air Magic, and it was a very good in-depth, structured. A lot of it is basics, but a very good broad range of information. So I'm hoping the same thing for this book on Fire Magic. Hoping to get some new tidbits, maybe fill in a couple of spots in my foundation of fire magic and witchcraft. And so we're going to go with that one, Fire Magic. The other book I am going to read that is deepening my knowledge in a certain area is the Big Book of Candle Magic by Jackie Smith. So I have barely started reading it this year, but I just didn't really have time to dig into it. And I think I mentioned in another video, last year I read another candle magic book that was really excellent for beginners and maybe intermediate. I have flipped through this book, and this looks like a more intermediate to advanced book on candle magic that might actually really provide what it says it's going to provide, because I've read a lot of candle magic books and most of them don't touch on the full broad range of things, and most of them are basic beginner information. This one has a unique perspective and really digs deep, it looks like. So I'm really excited to read this one, because one, with digging into fire energy this year, and I love candle magic, really looking forward to a fresh perspective. So, and it's a chunky book too. I will also say I've kind of glanced through the back how she categorizes things by, she's got like these main topics, and then under each color, even correspondence, she has them by these topics for each color. It's just, it looks really amazing. I can't wait to read that and do a review on that book. Okay, so the next thing is going to be Magical Power for beginners. I mean, it is a beginner book. I've heard a lot of really good things about this book. And since personal power and fire and energy is really kind of where I'm going this year, I thought I had this one on my bookshelf. I'm going to give it a go. A little surprised in that a lot of the online reviews that I've read about this or seen about this book, people really praised it for it just being a book on magical power, that it's not really very witchy or spiritual, that it's just about power. But in reading the back, the author is a Gardnerian witch. So I am really curious to see if people just flipped through it or really read it. You know, did the author really just do an excellent job of just making it's about power? Or does it have a lot of Wicca influence in here? I'm really curious to find out. Either way, I have a feeling it's going to be a great book. Even if it's beginner information, I'm still hoping to, you know, maybe find something new in here, a new skill or technique or approach that I haven't tried before. So looking forward to that. One of the other books I have is a thrift book I got. So to be honest with you, I have no idea if this is going to be a good book or not. And it is Psychic Development for Beginners. And I find that a lot of beginner books, even if you feel like you're past a beginner level, right? There is oftentimes new approaches or perspectives or a different angle of looking at something in beginner books. But it's really hard to say. I don't really know if this author is a good author, William W. Hewitt. Most of the psychic development information that I have read have been through witchcraft books, and this is definitely not a witchcraft book. So kind of excited, but kind of staying open about it, that it may be good, it may not be. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely going to give it a go this year. Another book that I am going to just kind of give a go this year is one that I received from a family member for a Christmas gift, and that is The Magic of Shapeshifting. I do love shamanic practices. I do lean more towards Celtic style shamanism, but I don't really follow any particular path or anything like that. I do a lot of shamanic journeying, and This whole book looks to be on the concept of shape-shifting, so I am really excited to read it. It looks very interesting. Have you guys read this book before? I am really curious. So, I'm hoping this will be a fun and informational read as well. It is a Wiser Books. Those usually go more in depth on topics, so that looks exciting. Something new. And then the other book, also on lines of shamanism, this one looks to be, I have flipped through it, like a very basic book. So again, I do have quite a few beginner books in my stack this year because, diving into personal power, I want to not have too many like new in-depth, intensely educational learning stuff. I'm trying to touch up on a lot of the basics and interests in the areas that I feel I might end up going down this year, and I'm saving my other books that I haven't purchased yet for more deep reading. But this is by an author I love. It is by DJ Conway. I love her books. I know some don't, but I do. I really enjoy her books. And it says Advanced Celtic Shamanism. It does not look like an advanced book. To be honest with you, I think that was probably marketing by the publisher. It looks like it's got a broad range of information in here, but it more to me looks like a beginner book on shamanic magic, and less a book on advanced Celtic shamanism. So just the title may be a little off. Looks like it's a really good book. Again, kind of looks like it's all information that I am very well aware of, and already practicing, but I really like this author, and I have had this on my bookshelf and I haven't read it yet, so I thought I'd throw that one in there. The 7th book that I know I am going to read next year, that I don't have yet because it doesn't come out until January, and I don't remember the exact title of it, but I have the other book here from the same author. It is a tarot book, and it has to do with reading tarot having anything to do with love, and it is by the author Elliot Adams. So he wrote this book, Fearless Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot books. I love his perspective. I love his positive look on all the cards. And so he has a book coming out that is all about reading tarot for love-related situations, and I am highly anticipating that to be an excellent book. So as soon as that, get that on pre-order, and as soon as I get it, then it's definitely going in my stack of books. So, a lot of these, again, basic, beginner, new perspectives, hopefully some in-depth stuff with this Kindle book. I've got high hopes for this one, so I hope it doesn't let me down. I don't think it will. I've seen some good reviews on it. And everything else is basically, beginner or just other perspectives on things that I'm already practicing, trying to keep it light, anticipating that the other books that I might add through the year might be pretty deep or intense learning, because like I said, I just have this feeling, and I'm usually not wrong when I have feelings like this, but there's no way to really explain. I just have to be willing and open and ready for when it gets here. What am I going to be learning this year, studying? What direction am I going to go down? I'm not sure. So, I'll leave 5 more books open for that, for a little bit more learning something new, in-depth studying, going down that direction. So I'd love to hear from you all. What books are you planning on reading this year? Do you try and put some sort of structure to it like I do? I always like to put structure to things. I've learned over the years, though, structure is great, but be willing to throw it out the window if you need to. I'd love to know what you're going to read. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.